What witch doesn't need a cloak?
So it's about this level that it feels like 115 up here. You're not a witch if you don't hoard weird because I don't have a red cape.
We'll end October with our first Sabbath. Samhain.
Do you see what I see? Oh, how much is there? And I don't know what to...
Hello, good day witches. I'm Candace, and this is Witch.Camp. Witch.Camp is a place for all persons to come and learn what it is to be a modern witch. Witchcraft has so many categories and spans the entire history of humanity that we have so much to cover. On this channel, we'll break it down into 5 categories. The sabbats, which are our holidays. History, which will cover a general discourse on a wide range of topics. Ritual, which covers mostly tarot, astrology, runes, and spell work. Herbal, which covers our plant, medicinal, and gardening techniques. And arts and crafts, my personal favorite. Since I was a young girl, I have been fascinated with witchcraft. So much so that in 1st grade, my very first book report was done on the Witch of Blackbird Pond. Have you read it? I just ordered another copy so that I could read it to my own daughter. She's 8. Over the years, my interest only deepened and I devour as much information as I could find on the topic, mostly in the form of books, some fictional, encyclopedic, picture books, movies, TV shows, documentaries, poems, plays, and musicals. When I was young, I was also a Girl Scout. I felt like the lessons I learned in camping and crafting brought me closer to the natural ways of life, just like in witchcraft. I can't imagine a more fun way to learn about witchcraft than through activities and lessons where we get to earn really cool witch badges after every episode. Our first few episodes will be art lessons creating our costume and main tools for our journey forward as witches together. We'll end October with our first Sabbath, Samhain. This episode is to put our cloaks together. What witch doesn't need a cloak? This episode will be sewing intensive. You will need a sewing machine, and if you don't have one, maybe you have a friend or a grandmother in your family who can loan you theirs. No need to worry about intensity of this project. The hardest part for you will be if you want pockets added to your cape, armhole sleeves, not necessary, and a hood. I mean, mine's gonna have a hood, because I don't know a witch who wouldn't want a hood for that privacy. Don't bog yourself down too hard, and honestly, if you can't sew, just go buy one. You don't even have to purchase fabrics and materials if not needed. Some of the simplest and easiest capes to make are from your bed sheets. If you have stock on your own, please, please, please reduce, reuse, recycle. One thing I like to do before I start any project is draw out some sketches or make a list of colors that I like, designs that I like. I will scour the internet for ideas and patterns, and often with a cape, it really is super simple. If you want it shaped for your shoulders, it's not that hard. You just need to create a curve on one corner. You'll want to determine your length beforehand as well. Do you want it as a capelet where it's just covering your shoulders and your chest area? Do you want it waist length, hip length, knee length, lower length, whatever you want? You work on it your way. This is your cape. I'm a real down-to-earth witch, and although I'm nice and pretty and gussied up for you right now, most of this video I will be in my day clothes. If you like what you're watching, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications for every new episode. We're shooting for every Friday. We'll see how it goes. So we've got some heavy lifting to do today. I've got to take a bunch of boxes that are in the way of my attic door upstairs so that we can get into the attic to find the fabric for our cape. So let's go ahead and get started with that.
to the attic. So it's about this level that it feels like 115 up here. It's actually only 80 degrees outside today, but it's hella hot in this attic. And I've got like a crap ton of bottles in there. That'll be fun for a future episode. And a lot of magazines from the 90s and early 2000s. You're not a witch if you don't hoard weird shit. Yeah, I like magazines. Okay, the hardest part of this right now is that it's hot because it's the middle of July and we're actually in a cool week. Find a fabric to make my new cape out of. I have a white cape that is silver on the other side. We have a purple cape. I have, I don't know, like 3 or 4 black capes, different styles. But I don't know what color to do. And I don't know what fabric I have that'll be the right length. I want to do a basic cape. I mean, most people would think for this, we're going to do a basic black cape, right? But I have a ton of black capes. So personally, for myself, I think I might actually do a red cape because I don't have a red cape. I think it would be nice to have a red one. I don't think I'm going to go full floor length with this one. I think I'm just going to do like maybe knee length, mid-thigh length, because I think that would be nice. We'll have an opening in the middle that will have a couple closures, a nice cool hood. I'll do armholes in it instead of having to always throw it over my shoulders, because also Chicago weather is kind of cool from like September to May. Let's go ahead and get started because we're going to be opening a lot up. Oh, I found some red velvet, but it's not a lot. Dang. Ooh. It's not a lot. Dang. I might do a fun liner on the inside. These are my spooky fabrics. Oh. Do you see what I see? Oh, how much is there? Oh man, it's not a lot again. Nice red velvet there. That's some nice red velvet there. Super soft. Nice canvas. Oh, that Burberry plaid. Linen. Ooh, we have a very nice red linen. Oh, very nice. It's so hard to show fabric on film. Oh, this red. Oh. That's a nice one. That's that. Let's go ahead with that. Suiting material. Vintage stuff that the previous owner left here. This will be fun to use on something. Just in case there's something cool in here. Lots of heavy black felt. You know what? I think we might use this for our hat. That's what I was looking for. What is all this cool black stuff in here? Because, you know, sometimes I can't help myself and I just gotta make a black one anyway. Maybe we'll do red and black patchwork. What do you think? That might be fun. Fancy stuff. Satin, green, red apples. Ooh, red apples. That might be cool on the inside. Isn't that cool? Scraps. Oh. That'll be fun for future projects. I'm gonna have to go through all of this stuff again. Okay, now that I have sufficiently gotten myself sweaty and stinky and itchy, we're gonna get this stuff downstairs. We are going to pull out the old capes, get some patterns, and get this thing made. Let's do it! I am in the guest room.
Doing what?
Pulling out capes.
For?
A video. Say hi.
My little witch wanted to help me at this point and came and helped me bring everything to my office. Of course, she had to try it on.
Hi, here we are. We have our stack of black, we have our stack of red, we have lots of other ones in between, and I don't know what to do. I'm torn. I've pulled out 4 cape patterns that I have. I like all of them. I have a pattern that I used for a Kylo Ren costume that I made a couple years ago for my cousin. I definitely know I want this cape to be lined and warm. I really, really like this apple gray for the liner on the inside. This cape is gonna have a hood, of course. I have lots of trims and laces and all kinds of cool stuff to use as accent work. Let's pick a pattern. We don't want to trip on these, so we do have to keep in mind when we're wearing them and what we're wearing them for. I would like it to kind of be my go-to cloak for everything, because I'm not doing muslin with this. Seamstress gods, don't strike me down. I am usually very precise with my sewing techniques, and I highly recommend making muslins. It's always good to have a buddy. Capes are super easy. There's really not a lot of adjusting. If you don't want to make a muslin for yourself, definitely give yourself like 4 to 6 inches longer than you're originally thinking, just to play it safe. We're gonna go ahead and get started and taking a look at our fabrics here, seeing what we have, how much we have of what, laying that over the pattern, finding out how we're gonna do that. Let's do it. Now it's time to find a pattern. Hey, look at that. There's a cape pattern right on top.
Looks like I must have made one of these recently. Oh, we need this. Whose birthday's It's Harry Potter themed. Okay, I don't think I have another cute pug tuxedo. Look at that pug tuxedo. I made a tuxedo for a pug. Cool. I got one more spot to check for patterns.
Ooh, that girl cape. Oh, look at those faces. They're so cute. Look at those babies. Oh, eat them. Eat them up like any good witch would. Okay. I think that's enough. Oh, that drawer. Cheeky ass drawer.
Of course, one of the hardest parts of getting started on any sewing project is deciding the pattern. I think I looked at 4 or 5 total before deciding on just a basic pattern for the Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz. Next, it's just cutting it all out, being careful not to rip. My perfectionism makes me iron everything so that my accuracy is on point. And here is where I shortened it onto the fabrics. This is so much fun for people who like to be organized and fold. Lots of folding, lots of flattening. Oh my goodness, lots of flattening. Now we're on to cutting. Yay! There is not a project I haven't worked on ever sewing wise where I haven't sliced or stabbed or pinned or bled on it. So beware, future seamstresses, you will harm yourself. So be careful. You're working with lots of sharp instruments. Do not work on sewing projects when you're tired. Heat, that's another thing. Lots of heat. Flatten. Get all the crusties off the wool. Matching. So much ironing. Oh. I got steam on my lens. Sewing! Yay! It started! Oh, I broke a thread or something happened and it got all twisted and messed up. And so this machine's got 4 threads, 2 needles. That's a lot to work with, but it makes that nice pretty edge. So I did this with all of the trims just because this is a woven fabric that I was working with, and the woven trims would have frayed if they were not serged. The hood pattern I was missing fabric. You can see in the top right corner there, that seam.
My fabric was not wide enough, and I have no problem with extra seams in strange and weird places when I'm creating stuff for myself, because I would rather use as much of the fabric as I possibly could than to see it go to waste. And I wouldn't have been able to have the hood match the outside of the cloak if I hadn't used this. And so I like to think outside of the box and be a little geniusy and work with what I have. Hey, there's my baby boy. He's actually my old man. He's 13 and a half this year. So many pins. Oh my gosh, so many pins. I couldn't even tell you. I almost emptied that box twice while working on different parts of this project. Go, baby, go. Oh God, do I wish sewing was that fast. Trimming your corners and curves is always helpful for shape. You're on to the bodice, or rather the body of the cloak. Two screens doing two different things. I'm already on the trims in that top right corner. Ironing your seams is pretty important. Otherwise your garments can look bulky and baggy. I wish I could show you guys this crazy misty morning we're having. Go, go, go. So much sewing. Oh, those shots look like old cartoons. That was pretty funny. Onto the skull trims. This one was a little more difficult for me, only in the aspect that I didn't want it to be super ruffled. I actually only had so much of it to work with, but I'm working with a curve on the bottom of the cloak anyway, so there do have to be a certain amount of darts intervaled out so that a straight sewing line wouldn't make it like bow out and look kind of weird, like a weird flare, and that it would hang straight. So just kind of making little dart ruffles. I think I did like every 8 inches or so. And then there was no actual like hemming for this because of doing the serging on the edge. I was able to just kind of lay it over the woven and sew it right down, which also wasn't going to be a problem that was done that way because the red scrolls is going to be over it. This rickrack, oh man, I literally only had so much of it, and it needed to be scavenged is the best word for it, to make sure that it was going to be enough. And yeah, so it was like literally a hair's breadth underneath the red scroll work, zigzagging it down. Oh, first try-ons. That hood's pretty big. I might put a comb on the inside of it to kind of tuck into my hair so that it doesn't constantly fall over my face. This part is making the placements for the armholes and pockets. This was all really kind of awkward, not finishing the hood down on the cape at this point because I knew I had to work around the scroll trims and the rickrack trim. I mean, it's not really rickrack, but it's zigzag, scrolly. You know, looks like rickrack. This is, I think I was lining up to make sure that the pockets were both in the same spots. Yeah, the pocket and armholes. So it's like matching up the front edges and then smoothing it out super flat. Oh, I'm putting the liner in now. Yeah, this is actually why it was so hard. So I had to take the scroll trim off of the hood to get the liner on because I forgot that I wanted those stitches to be hidden. If I hadn't taken that trim off, then the stitches from the liner would have been on top of the scroll trim, and that would not have been pretty. So here I am putting that back on, and we are really close to done here, folks. This trim was a lot to get on and to sew because you have to sew it down on both sides. And this corner, the corners were a pain in the butt. But I got them, and they look really nice and really pretty and really flat. Head down. Well, that was a nice transition. That worked that time. Oh, more trim, so much trim. What is this? Oh, the pockets. So I wanted my pockets to be big. I mean, what girl doesn't? I mean, old-fashioned cloaks, the pockets were huge. People put all kinds of stuff in there. I love the joke that Benjamin Franklin had up to 6 books in his cloak pockets at a time. I mean, that would be really heavy. But his poor seamstress had to do a lot of reinforcing on his seams. The pockets were not as hard as I thought they would be, considering they were being put in after the cloak was actually completely assembled. It was a matter of me just cutting a hole in, putting the pocket on the inside, and getting that all ready to just kind of fold over. What is happening to that little screen? That was weird. I'm not gonna bother fixing it at this point. Just putting the cuffs back on. Final fits. Oh, it looks so good. Oh, little Bray. Sneaky, sneaky. Get your book in, but you could take it out on the outside. Oh, it's magic. Oh, I'm so happy. Do a little dance. After getting the cape together, it was time to get the patches ready. So, computer work. Cranky face. It's late. Usually 2 a.m. when I'm doing this stuff. Dancing to my tunes. Oh, time to put it on the machine. There it goes. Sped up the video so fast it looked like the needle wasn't even moving. That was awesome. I still have some tweaking left to do on most of these patches. This was really just kind of some first test runs on it. I did have a couple problems.
So here we are at the very last step. I have my first badge. My machine decided to corrupt my file. Half our badges that are coming up, so here's a little sneak peek on some of our badges. They are not finished. Our first one is done. Our cape got a little corrections to do, finalizing, fixing, some little tweaking on it. I love it. It looks like our little red cape. Oh, it's so cute. Go ahead and get this cut out. I think I'm just gonna attach it with some double-sided. Be ready to order by October 6th. You can go to Witch.Camp on Instagram, and I think that's where I will have them first. We are still working out some bugs and issues with the website and getting that launched. That might not get launched till closer to Christmas. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully by the end of October we can say that we have the website ready as well. But for now, just message me, either email ask.witch.camp@gmail.com or check it out for posts. Stay up to date with what's going on over at witch.camp on Instagram. That's probably going to be the best place to get daily updates from me, maybe every other day or whatever, but messaging me there is a good idea as well. So let's go ahead and get started and get this cut out and attached to our cape, and our first badge is done. Yay! Okay, let's go.
Some of these capes are really old, some of these costumes. It was much thinner when I made some of these. What a goofy girl. I was so excited to be done with the cape.
Ooh, that was fun. So here we are. What'd you learn today? I learned a lot. I take a really long time to sew. I'm also quite the perfectionist, especially with my sewing. That I ripped seams out. I mean, I think I started the bodice and put the liner together and then decided I wanted a red satin for the hood like a week and a half later. I couldn't decide on trims. I think I didn't even decide trims until like maybe the end of August. The time span for this cape for me was actually about a month and a half, and I had hoped to do it in like 2 weeks. But I also started in mid-July, and my daughter's birthday is the beginning of August, then school starts, so you know, nice timing for mommy to do all that stuff. Yay! I really can't wait to see all you witches next week. I have so much fun planned for that one. We'll be learning to make our own wands, a hand broom, and our witches' hats. Mother's blessings to you. Good night. Naked fingers.
enjoy these bloopers.
Oh my god! No. Our first few episodes that we will learn. Our first few episodes. Oh my god, what's burning? Just wax, right? I got a lot of candles going right now. First few episodes will be art lessons creating our costume. Our first few. Okay, I can write really well, but somehow I can't memorize it. Yay! Main tools for our journey. I don't know, what else do I want to say? Chobi, can you not get in? Push the door. Aw, poor baby. Oh my god. Stop clinking. No.
It's, oh my god, I can't get up. All right, so I'm going to show you shoes. 3 boxes here, plus stuff stacked. Wigs, masks, more shoes, hats, hoods, purses, helmets.
Ooh, that's a prom dress. Prom. That was like 24 years ago. Why am I that old?